I'm actually the only person I know that actually ran away from home and joined the circus and never to return.
This is Legends with Bevo, thanks to Anytime Fitness Glenelg and Renelec Electrical Services. And now here's your host, Bevo.
Welcome to another edition of Legends with Bevo here today at the beautiful Pod Booth Studios. And what a pleasure it is to be joined by the man himself, the co-owner of Kookaburra Homes, and also the man who decided to change our Chewing the Fat to Legends with Bevo with his marketing experience, Steve Walker. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Bevo. I was actually watching your videos last night, and I understand that I'm coming after people like Dennis Committee, Diesel, who I was just listening to in the car, crying shame. You've had some of the biggest people in the country, and now you've got me on, and I'm a little bit confused. One of my staff members said to me yesterday, "Are you worried that Bevo will have to change his name and take Legends out of it now that you've brought down the quality of the show?" So, mate, I really appreciate it. I love what you do, so thank you. Thanks
for your support as well. And for those people out there that don't know, Steve and I have been friends for a long period of time. We'll get to that in a moment.
Loose term.
That's true. Ex-basketball teammates, perhaps we'll go with. But no, you were one of the big parts in coming up with the name change, and your sort of marketing experience has certainly been very helpful, Steve. And when I sort of did change the name, it was a bit of a scary thing because I love chewing the fat, but you decided to change to Legends with Bevo, and I think it's been a wonderful thing. And a lot of people did sort of question the name change and whether it was worth it. But what was the idea behind the change?
I think the biggest thing is you are the product and you are the brand, and especially in the singular sense where you're out there by yourself promoting yourself. I think the name should reference you, and you are a product and a brand that people want to be associated with, so why not put your name in it? And it was no more complicated than that, mate. It's a credit to you that people want to be associated with you because you're a good person and you're passionate about what you do, so why not put your name into the product? The end.
Love it. No, I think you've absolutely nailed it, and I couldn't agree with you more there, Steve-O. So we know each other for a long time, Steve-O, and back in the day, for those people that remember the Chicago Bulls, I was Steve Kerr and you were Michael Jordan, because I used to make you look good by feeding you all the time we were playing juniors, and you'd score 50 points and I'd get 20 assists, but everyone would think that you were the hero. But let's be honest, without me, you wouldn't be scoring all those points. So.
Absolutely. They mainly thought I was the hero because I'd tell them all that I was the hero. But I appreciate you feeding me for many, many years.
And let's get on to yourself, your own story, because you've done remarkable things considering, the tough upbringing that a lot of people wouldn't know about unless they know you well. At the age of 14, you actually left school, Steve, which is extremely scary stuff to do at that kind of age. And you didn't have that sort of parent support that a lot of people have. But a credit to you, because at the age of 21, I don't know how you did this, but you're actually a Harvey Norman franchisee. So, mate, tell us how you sort of did it, and I guess the tough upbringing that we went through that's made you the person you are today.
Yeah, thanks, mate. So just on the Harvey Norman thing, I think about it. I'm not so old now that sometimes I forget the facts. So I was about 23 when I got my first Harvey Norman franchise. But back to your original question, I left school very, very young because I had a really tough childhood. A lot of physical abuse, a lot of emotional abuse, and it got to the stage where enough was enough. So I actually left home, joined the circus for a little bit, believe it or not. I'm like an Elvis midday movie. I'm actually the only person I know that actually ran away from home and joined the circus and never to return. So, and then after that, I went into door-to-door sales when I was, on the brink of 15 years old, pretending I was 18 years old, actually walking around Adelaide CBD here, converting people over from Telstra to AAPT. So I did that for a period of time, and it was hard, but it was easier than being at home. And that sort of set me on my path of this world of sales and brings me to where I am today, obviously involved with Kookaburra and a number of other ventures as well.
And Harvey Norman's, how did you become a franchisee with them?
Yeah, so obviously growing up in retail, I met some really good mentors in retail along the way who taught me the ins and outs of retailing. And then when I was about 19, I was lucky enough to get a sales job at Harvey Norman Enfield here in Adelaide. And then once again, just meeting a series of people who are amazing individuals, not just retailers, but cared about me as a human and as a kid, and took me under their wing and really trained me in the art of retail, which allowed me to go all over the country and all over the world and really show my talents. And that got recognised by the powers that be inside Harvey Norman. And the way Harvey Norman works is you can't actually buy a franchise. You have to earn a franchise. So I paid my dues. I did my time and proved myself. And I was lucky enough to become a Harvey Norman franchisee when I was about 23. Got my first store in Queensland, regional Queensland. And then my second store was in Melbourne, Metro, Harvey Norman, Thomastown.
And did you have a mentor? I mean, obviously you said you didn't have any parents to support you at that young age. Did you have anyone else in the family or mentors that helped you along the way?
Yeah, I didn't know any of my family. I completely cut off everyone, still to this day. So I heavily relied on people that I worked around. So Craig McAloney, who I believe you know, one of my best mates, who owned Cash Converters Darwin. I found my way up to Darwin when I was 15 by myself. And he gave me my first retail opportunity. So 24, 25 years later, Craig and I are still best friends and we still work together. So he was a big part of that age. I feel like there was a number of checkpoints in my life where certain people came into that life, whether it was him, there was Matthew Semple, another guy called Danny Wilson. These are some of the nicest people you could ever meet, as well as most successful business people you could ever meet. So I was extremely lucky.
And now you've gone on to become the co-owner of Kookaburra Homes, which is a multi-million-dollar company, Steve, and phenomenal effort there. So how did you sort of become a part of Kookaburra Homes?
Yeah, so after Harvey Norman, I wanted to take a step back from retail because retail is very fast-paced. So I had the opportunity to go into new home sales, which I did for a number of years. And then I went into a sales manager's role. And what I recognised was there was a real opportunity within the construction industry to bring a point of difference. So I decided to start my own business, which was going out and consulting to other builders, other businesses in general as well, whoever I could get. And one of my first customers was Kookaburra Homes, where I originally only wanted to spend a year there. They were in a little bit of trouble. There was some challenges around the sales and marketing department that really needed some help. And I spent a year there and I felt like I got it to a stage where I was ready to leave and it was on a trajectory that was, going up. So I said to the owner at the time, one of the owners, because there was two, I'm ready to leave now. And he said, well, actually, I want to sell my business. Would you be interested in purchasing it? Obviously, I didn't have that much money, so I needed to get some other people around me. And fast forward to this day, there's myself and my co-owner, who I love to death, and his name's Wayne Goodwin, who is already in the business. And he brings the construction element to Kookaburra Homes. He's been on the tools like me, leaving school very, very young. He did the same. He's a bit of a success story himself. He left school when he was 14, 15 and got on the tools. So, the relationship works really, really well. And here I am 6 years later. I remember 6 years ago, we were selling $6-7 million worth of product. In the last 18 months, we just did 97 million in 18 months.
So, Steve, what sort of made you decide to, get involved with Kookaburra Homes and, make such a big call to get involved in this great organisation?
I think it goes back to the days where I was a sales manager and a salesperson within the industry. I thought there was real opportunity to create change. I find that the industry can be quite stagnant, especially when it comes to the sales and marketing element of it. So I really wanted to step into the industry and have my own share of it and really show people that things can be done differently. I was a little bit apprehensive of going into having my own business again, because with that, it brings its own challenges. But I'd made the decision to go through with it because my big passion is not actually building or construction. My passion is people. We've got 42 full-time staff and hundreds of contractors that work for us. And they're the real reason why I do it. And they're the real reason why I made the decision to stay within the business and actually put my money where my mouth was and make the decision to commit to Kookaburra Homes.
And this is super exciting. You've got a passion for helping out kids, and especially, with the mistakes and the tough upbringing you've gone through, you're actually looking to start your own podcast called Kidpreneur. Did I pronounce that correct?
You did.
Yeah,
yep,
awesome.
I even struggle with it. Yep.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I guess it happened organically. So some time back, I worked with the Murray Bridge Youth Council, where we developed a program that gave grants to local kids that had business ideas and really wanted to get them off the ground. And as a result of that and me helping kids in that program, I had a number of other children reach out and say, hey, I've got this opportunity. I've got this business idea. I don't know what to do next. I hear you help kids. Can you help me? And through that, I really gained an understanding that there is a number of kids out there who have fantastic ideas but don't know how to get them off the ground. And from my own experience as a kid, I understand the importance of self-worth, especially at a young age. Like I touched on before, I had those mentors in my life that helped me. So what I'm trying to do is highlight those kids so they can influence other kids. I think about my two kids, 3.5, 5.5. My 5.5 in particular, his biggest influence at the moment is other kids. So when he's 13, 14 and going into that, those teenager years, who's his influence? Who's his influence outside the actor, the movie star, the pop star? What if he's interested in making money? What if he has a business idea, but he doesn't know what to do? So the idea is to bring kids to the forefront, highlight these exceptional kids in hope that they will influence others to do the same.
That is a wonderful idea. And tell us some of the ideas that sort of some kids have come up with so far, because I think you mentioned to me the other day when we were chatting off air, Amazon, is that correct? Some sort of Amazon business? Yeah.
Yeah, correct. So one in particular, there's a fantastic young kid who's probably the real driver for me wanting to do this. He's awesome. He wants to start his own Amazon business. He's about to go into, he is in year 11 now, and he wants to go to university. Super smart kid, great family, lots of support. Wants to go to university but doesn't want to have a HECS debt, or at least wants to minimise it. He wants to concentrate on study right now. So he's looking for opportunities where he can grow his bank account by minimising the amount of hours he needs to be away from studying, and then also put some money in his pocket to also minimise his HECS debt as well. So one of the ideas we're working through at the moment is buying product, creating his own brand and then selling that on Amazon. Now, I don't have all the tools and skills to be able to help him to do that. So one of the first podcasts will be based around him. And I've also found someone who's an expert in South Australia at selling on Amazon, who's sold over $1 million worth of product, that will come in here and teach him how to do that, and potentially other kids as well.
That is a fantastic idea, Steve. I love it. Is there a certain age group that you're focusing on, or?
Really, I think it's teenagers, probably. I know as a teenager, I was extremely vulnerable, and I think most teenagers are. It's a big change. Lots of stuff are happening in their life. So I really want to, it's about business, but I really, want to just influence other kids in a really positive way, and almost be almost like a protector or a shield for them, to show them that, it is cool to be interested in business. It is cool to be interested in money. It's okay.
And in terms of the actual, I guess, people out there that are watching or listening today, how do they get involved in it, Steve? Like, say if they've got kids that, might want to find out more about it, is there a way they can contact yourself about this?
Yeah, I guess in the notes, we'll put my contact details, we'll put my phone number and email and things like that. That's probably the best way, is just direct message me or phone me, and let's have a conversation and see what we can do. I'm more than happy to help.
I think it certainly has a lot of legs. And before we let you go today, your sort of idea behind this is you want to actually help kids to not make the same mistakes that you made when you were going through those tough years. What do you mean by this, Steve?
Yeah, I've made so many, mate, and I still do. One of the advantages of leaving home so early and not having that support network is, you learn to fend for yourself. You learn to motivate yourself. You don't rely on others. But one of the disadvantages is you lack structure, and you lack discipline, and you lack the ability for people to tell you what is right and what is wrong. So I've made some terrible mistakes over the years. And if I can help a kid, a teenager, not make the same mistakes that I did, then that's it. I'm happy with that. And that is really the idea behind the podcast as well, is, I just want to help kids and help teenagers like people helped me in certain situations, and make sure that they steer clear of some of the bad decisions that I made in life.
And do you ever have any plans of reconnecting with your real mum and dad?
No plans. Yeah. It's some people think it's really sad, and I used to think it was sad. Then you grow up and you mature, and I give full credit to my parents, because just as much as me, is life's real hard. It's really, really hard sometimes. And I think they did really well. I think they did the best they could. So I'm completely okay with it, and I'm at peace with that.
That shows the person you are today. Credit to you, because a lot of people out there would be bitter, but it just shows, that people out there that are listening and watching today, you've been through absolute hell and back, Steve, and to see, as a friend, I'm really proud of how far you've come, and it's a credit to you. It's a credit to those people that have, helped you, and obviously your wife as well. She's been involved in this journey along the way. So keep up the great work, and I'm really excited about this kidpreneur thing. I think it's going to go really well, and hopefully one day, when I have little ones, I'll be able to get them involved in this as well. And thanks for chatting today, Legends with Bevo.
I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Sounds so good.